Welcome to Expat Hoops, where we interview basketball players who have played professionally outside of the United States. Today's guest is Josh Boutte, who has just completed his third season abroad after finishing his college career at Angelo State. Before we get to the interview, though, just a reminder to any new listeners that you can find all of our content on expathoops.com, as well as our merchandise, so you can wear our logo with pride. For our audio listeners, you can find exclusive extra content on YouTube. We crossed 1,000 followers before the summer, and that is another easy way to help support us. Lets you know when new content is put online. But with that said, let's get into it with Josh and talk about his overseas career. Welcome to Expat Hoops, Josh.
Thank you so much.
So we were talking a little bit off the pod, and it's the question that I always struggle exactly how to phrase it. But you're finishing at Angelo State, but you would go on to Sam Houston State prior to that. And actually in junior college, you had played with a couple or played with or against a couple of our past guests, Michael Sims and Amir Coffey. What point did you actually think about actually going pro and what that would look like in terms of finding an agent, continuing your career? And what did that look like at the time?
Well, first I thought about it maybe like my sophomore year in junior college, just thinking ahead like where I'm going to be, and I'm thinking like NBA, G League or whatever. And from there, it's just after when I finished junior college, I went to Sam Houston. Then had a little ups and downs, and had a little minor setback as injuries, and took that upon and continued to play, and wound up transferring to Angelo State and all that.
And so was there a point that you sought out an agent sought out you? What did it look like before you got to your first season in Kosovo in 2019 to 2020?
Yeah, before I didn't have an agent, so pretty much I had to just search around for myself, go out to people that knew agents and all that, and just trying to network and connect with outside, like overseas, like people and stuff like that. And I had got across some player that I've seen on Facebook, and I think I wound up joining like a group or something like that. And I found him, and he was like, yeah, send me the passport. You need your passport before anything. Make sure you got that and blah, blah, blah. So I took care of that. And I got blessed with this job in El Salvador. And if I would have waited, I probably would have had something better. But by me being a rookie, I don't really know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I took that Salvador and kind of just went on my journey.
So you actually had kind of a couple of I'm not sure how to put this, but I'll just try. Had a couple of opportunities before you actually went to El Salvador, as we were talking off the pod. I think you had an opportunity in Albania that wound up falling through because of COVID, and you also had an opportunity with Kosovo as well, right?
Right.
And so you played 6 games in Kosovo, right?
Right.
So what was that experience like? Even though it was kind of short, Kosovo is an interesting country because I think it was back in the 90s under Clinton, like when they kind of got their independence. Yeah. And I've actually heard some things anecdotally about how he's like, a major person to them. Was that something that you can back up, and what was it like playing there, even if it was for a limited period of time?
When I got there, I seen a statue of Clinton. So I was like, yo, it was like, oh yeah, we love Clinton because he helped us with the war back when he went to war with Serbia, I think. And they started telling me about that, and like how it split up. Certain people don't go there, they can't cross here. So it was a very interesting story, like when I heard it.
Yeah, and that's something that it's not the first time that I'd heard it. And I remember when I heard it, I was it made sense, but at the same time, I was just as surprised to find that out.
Right.
And what's like the state of basketball there in terms of comparing and contrasting it with an American crowd? Basketball is obviously growing internationally, but what was it like at that point in time there?
Oh man, the atmosphere when we played, the crowd was, they had a decent big crowd at one game. It was against Pristina, Pristina, and that's like one of the biggest I guess capital like in Kosovo and stuff like that. So they had a huge crowd. Like I remember that. And the gyms was like real cold. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you warm up, you got to make sure you have a hoodie on, and this is time like in January. So it's like, yeah.
It's a literal warm up at that point in time.
Yeah, totally.
So it was a brief stint, but at the same time, it's certainly an interesting experience. And before we get to El Salvador, you had an opportunity to go to Albania, but this is kind of like your COVID story. What exactly happened with that falling through?
Well, after Kosovo, everybody like try to like get they team up, see what players to come to bring the players in, and I met a guy on Facebook. He seen me like working out. I'm in the gym, and he was like, "Hey, I see you working out hard. How about you come over here and play with us and all that?" So I'm like, "Okay, cool." Then that time came. I went out there. We like practicing. We got like 3 Americans, so pretty much everybody on the same page, And then you got curfew now. It's like we got to be in a certain time. So us players, we think like the season might we can tell, we can feel like the season is coming. It's not going to start off right. So the coach playing by ear, and we practicing, we having scrimmages, and come to find out they was like, the season not gonna they're not gonna have the season this year. So it was like, I gotta go back home, and just reset and try to train again. So yeah.
In our house, when we use a VPN, we are sure to use Nordvpn. Nordvpn secures up to 6 devices and is compatible with Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, iOS, and even your Wi-Fi router. Plus, it's no risk to your wallet. Head over to their website for pricing or contact customer support 24/7. And remember, your purchase is always safe with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Click the link in the video description to use our code and make sure you're secure with NordVPN.
Thanks to SeatGeek for sponsoring Expat Hoops. We recently became a brand ambassador for them. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They offer a 0 to 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good or a bad deal. Green means good, red means bad. You get the idea. It's a really easy way to get tickets to events. Plus, our viewers get $20 off their first ticket purchase with the Expat Hoops code. Click the link in the description to download the app. Remember the code Expat Hoops, EXPATHOOPS, all one word, to save yourself $20 off your first ticket purchase with SeatGeek. So, but you would have an opportunity to go to El Salvador, despite Albanian opportunity falling through. We spent a little bit of time talking off the pod, and this is something that I don't believe we've talked to anybody that's actually played in El Salvador. So take us through what your season there was like on and off the floor, and some of the interesting things that you went through there.
Okay, when I first got there, well, on the court. So when I first got there, off the court. So when I first landed at the airport, the coach was like, "Oh, they have somebody come and get you from the airport," and I'm like, okay. So I'm just looking out for somebody like in this type of car, this color shirt, the sign, So I'm like, everybody just staring me down. It's like they just like in shock mode because they know what I'm here for pretty much. So I get in the car, everything goes. I meet the people and all that, go to the coach's house. We run it, how the season going to be and all that. Then we come the next day, it's like a tour team comes, like with a lot of Americans. Like, so they come to try out for like different teams while they're in El Salvador so they can make a team. So I'm already signed to like Santa Ana, El Salvador, the team and all that. So now I'm on the team. We have another guy from America, I forgot where he's from. I think DC or something like that. So he's not here yet. So I'm the only American on the team. I'm playing against the tour team that has about 10 Americans. So it's like, I gotta fight my way through it till he gets here. So it's like we play the game. I have a great game. I must have had about 30 and like 15 rebounds or something like that. You know. So that's how I started when I first got down there. Pretty much, it was great. A great experience.
And like, about how many teams, I mean, once you do actually get started in league play, about how many teams are there in El Salvador at that time?
I would say like 8 teams. So we play each team like twice. So we play home, then we play them away, then next on to the next, same thing.
As far as the places that you play, what are the playing environments like in terms of the facilities and in terms of fan support as well?
Oh, the fan support was amazing. Like it's not really a basketball type of. Everybody asks me what you're doing out here is people don't really like, they're not heavy on like basketball. It's mostly like soccer and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I got there, the atmosphere, the fans is great. Like they had the little kids coming up after the games, you know, signing autographs. It was just, man, it was amazing. I ain't gonna lie.
So we talked a little bit off the court. I mean, about, obviously this is all positive so far, but we talked a little bit off the court or off the pod about off the court and some of the security issues. Tell us about that.
The security, it was, so we going to practice, we getting chased by dogs, then we run, and we running into like armored security guards that have AKs like on the block. So we really getting chased by dogs, but we gotta slow it down because we don't know if they might, you know what I'm saying? We up to something, but you know, they was all good. They knew we was out there for like basketball and stuff like that. So, but that experience was wild.
Yeah, that's certainly something that, I mean, it's one of those things that when you start seeing automatic weapons, even if they're not being used, it's like, it's still a little, I mean, takes a little getting used to if you're not used to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And for the record, I'm not necessarily used to it, so it would take some getting used to for me.
Yeah, it was a decent, like, it was real nice.
And so after going to El Salvador and having a good season there, you actually wind up going back to Europe, this time in Hamm, Germany. It's in one of the lower tiers of Germany, but we've talked to some other people before about their experiences playing, not necessarily in the top 2 tiers of German basketball. It's certainly really interesting. So like, what was your experience playing like there? I think that when we were talking off the pod that you're the only American for that particular team. So what was that like, you know, playing with not only mostly Germans, but Germans where this isn't their primary job?
Man, playing with them, it was, when I first got there after playing, we had a game like the next day. But Germans is real cool. They open their arms to me, like family and stuff like that. And on the other side of like practices and stuff like that, they really don't take it serious. But in my case, I had to because, you know, it's my job, you know. But other than that, it was a great experience playing with the Germans and stuff like that.
And so that actually leads you into this upcoming season. You're going to be playing in Azerbaijan. What were the opportunities like after Hamm? what led you to decide to go to Azerbaijan?
I just I just kept it faded, agents sat down, a couple of agents, where I wanted to go, and the money really wasn't the go-to that I wanted to pick off the table. But Azerbaijan is, I kind of looked at it, it's a top league. Really never played. I played in the top league like Kosovo and stuff like that, but I really wasn't trying to go back to Germany. You know what I'm saying? I know I didn't take care of business out there, so I'm trying to move on to the next, get to the next level. And I wound up averaging 18 and 14 out there. So it was like I got to get back. I got to get back.
Yeah, good numbers. And I think that some of our listeners know that, with the levels and everything, you also have to, when you're at something where you're trying to go the next step, you've got to put up like crazy numbers. And so something like 18 and 14 is good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not eye popping, and you basically need eye popping.
Right.
So it'll be an interesting opportunity for you. What do you know about Azerbaijan and the club that you're going to this season? And what are you looking forward to the most on and off the floor?
Azerbaijan, I know it's not really a big town. They have maybe 8 teams. It's a top league, so hopefully, if I put up the same numbers I did last year in Germany, I can move up to the next level and just trying to stay on that right, just taking each steps at a time. So right now I'm just trying to get 2 foot in the door, pretty much.
So we will certainly be in contact in regards to posting the streaming link, but we've talked a little bit off the pod about that, so we can follow along with you during this upcoming season. We're going to ask you a couple of things that are kind of like our extras as part of the pod, but I think that pretty much does it for your career so far. We certainly will be tracking you and hopefully have you back on at some point to have an update. But again, thank you so much for appearing on Expat Hoops. And do you have some time for some extras?
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Hello, and thanks for watching. Be sure to give the video a like, and you can watch more videos over here. You can also click subscribe over here so you're notified when we have new content here on Expat Hoops.